Justin, thank you so much for joining me today. And thanks for being a part of NFT.NYC. It's amazing all the things that your teams are working on. And there's quite a bit probably to unpack if we were to cover, the whole of it. But maybe we could get started and you can just let the NFT.NYC community know a bit about yourself and what it is that you and your teams are working on. And then we could dive in and talk some details.
Sure. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for having me. And yeah, really looking forward to NFT NYC coming up in June. So yeah, we've got a number of teams. So one team is working on Boson Protocol. So Boson is the universal settlement layer for commerce that enables buyers and sellers to conduct commerce transactions, so buy and sell physical items, and to do that without the need for intermediaries by using NFTs that are encoded with game theory. And so what this kind of, this is like super deep tech. We've got about 8 PhDs working on that, and raised about $36 million last year to kind of build out that team. And we have V1 of that live at the moment, and this incredible update of V2 is going live in August. And what Boson Protocol enables is basically just this kind of this base layer for enabling commerce that buyers and sellers can plug into and just settle transactions using code. But it also does a second thing: it tokenizes those transactions. So unlike if you use an Amazon or an eBay and your transaction is locked away in a siloed database, if you were to tokenize your car, let's say, and I were to buy that token, I could then go and transfer and trade that NFT like any other NFT. So it kind of creates like this liquid marketplace, but also enables those transactions to be like gamified and these NFTs to be programmed. And so we have built an application called Portal, which is currently a marketplace in Decentraland, although it in parallel to launching Boson Protocol V2, we're going to be plugging into all of the kind of the Web3 metaverses and a number of gaming platforms as well. But this is a 3D marketplace where we can sell physical items as NFTs and also digital items as NFTs. So we were the commerce partner for Metaverse Fashion Week, which is kind of last month, where we had about 17 brands, including the likes of Tommy Hilfiger, Hogan, and a number of really cool NFT projects that were selling physical items as NFTs and also digital items as NFTs in this kind of whole gamified space that's Boson Portal. And then what we're doing next is this whole summer-long campaign called the Summer of Digitals, which we're doing with a whole load of other partners, and just kind of this loosely organized classic Web3 kind of group of kind of pioneers, really, all doing these different activations for brands and different events. So NFT.NYC, of course, is going to be absolutely central to that. But doing things like, we're opening a nightclub, one of the top nightclubs in London. We've got, they're opening a club within the Portal space. So there'll be like two-way mirrors. You'll be able to go in and listen to the music and dance, have two-way mirrors with the nightclub, and then have like top DJs doing digi-physical drops, for example. And then brands all throughout the summer at these different events will be doing activations with digi-physical treasure hunts. We've got some kind of crazy plans for our booth at NFT.NYC, where, without giving too much away, we're going to kind of be merging digital with physical. So you can have like a kiosk where you can use AR to view an item and then buy it using Boson Protocol and redeem it. So all of these kind of mashups and mix-ups of, metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, and reality, using that technology.
So I think that it's a different approach. People talk about bringing the physical and digital together, and some have done it really well. You know, usually it's obscure projects that we have the greatest experience with. But you and your team are working on a consistent machine that can bring digital and physical assets together in the multiverse. So, and metaverse. That's, Marvel got in my head just now. So with metaverse commerce, launching a physical product in the metaverse as an NFT, if a huge brand comes to you and your team and says, okay, we hear what you're working on, this seems intriguing, the whole world knows of our brand, and we're ready to bring physical products into the metaverse so that when people order, they can go in the store and pick up the item or have it shipped to them. What is the steps between idea with a prospective client and executing the first Genesis project? What happens in that between land, and how do you guide people on that journey?
Sure. So we've got a whole team that will work with the brands, and we've got a number of sort of templated activations that can create a bit of structure and give some ideas. But often what happens is, brands, one concept is, well, we've kind of got like this 5-point plan that really works, and that is create gamified, rewarding experiences is the aim. It's not about, there's not much point selling standard items that you can get in store in the metaverse, right? There's more friction, more cost. It's not, that's not its unique differentiator. But what you can do in the metaverse is create these gamified, rewarding, highly engaging experiences. So, this kind of 5-point plan is like, number one, create some treasure, right? Create unique, high value, scarce, desirable products. And what we're seeing now is this trend towards, with certainly luxury brands and NFT projects, where it's about, creating like a digi-physical pair. So, pretty soon, if you go and buy a, $5,000 handbag, physical, you're going to get an NFT with it. You're going to feel shortchanged if you didn't. And if you buy a $5,000 NFT handbag, why wouldn't you get the digital as well? And that's going to apply to sneakers, and you're going to buy these high fashion items in the real world and be able to wear them in the metaverse as well. So these kind of items are kind of like, create the treasure, the desirable items that people want. But then the second stage is bury that treasure. Bury that treasure within a gamified landscape with, highly engaging games that are relevant to your brand. And, and we've got, game creatives as well as the scene builders, etc., that will work to create this kind of really cool, engaging experience. So that's kind of burying the treasure. So now people have got an incentive to go to this world and play a game to retrieve that treasure. And then what we do is then make sure that we're driving usage and driving audience from the real world, from stores, from social channels, etc., so that people are aware of this buried treasure, and that you kind of get then the usage from that. And so an example of this is like a digi-physical treasure hunt. So imagine you're walking down Fifth Avenue, you look in the window, you see this like really cool pair of sneakers, digi-physical, but you can't buy them in the store, but there's a QR code. You click the QR code, it kind of takes you to a digital experience, like some sort of instruction page for the treasure hunt. And from there, you kind of go into Decentraland, and it takes you to some sort of game. You play that game, and then you get access to being able to purchase that item, which again, then you can come and redeem in the real world. You can collect the digital item into your wallet, and you can go and redeem the physical item in the real world, either in store or on a website. And these kind of dynamics are super engaging. But and so that's where we're getting a lot of traction with brands, and we'll be doing a lot of that actually around NFT.NYC, doing a lot of those kind of activations, and then combining it with things like metaverse nightclub with top DJs, where perhaps that quest takes you sort of in there, and you've got to go and recover some item in order to be able to go and buy this special item. We've got a number of these sort of quests and games that are going to be running in Boson Portal, and then across some of our collaborators and partners across Decentraland as well will be doing some of these sort of gamified rewards type mechanics, driving people into the metaverse to collect this treasure, and creating loads of engagement as well.
You've had a chance to share with us a bit about Boson Protocol and Portal. Can you share a bit about Nifty Key as we kind of come to the end of our conversation? I want to make sure that you have a chance to cover the broad range of projects that you and your team are leading.
Sure. So my background is I ended up sort of running the whole Priority Pass group and grew that into about $1 billion turnover, like loyalty program, working for lots of retailers and banks and networks like MasterCard, basically selling items as these redeemable vouchers, first paper and plastic, and then I created this whole digital voucher system. And so Boson Protocol is quite similar to that in that it's a blockchain that actually uses NFTs and eliminates the need for intermediaries. But the great thing about that is that these things are far more programmable than paper, plastic, or digital, right? And so Nifty Key is this NFT loyalty key that unlocks these different benefits. So if you can imagine that, you could have a NFT sort of redeemable voucher for some physical items, like a pair of sneakers or something, or some special digiphysical item. Then Nifty Key is like the token gated key. You have to have this thing in your wallet in order to be able to access that. And so that could be, Nifty Key could be rendered as a wearable, or it could render as anything, but it's basically an NFT, kind of like membership access key that enables you to go and access these other benefits. And they're like super programmable, super composable, because this is all Web3. You can create all these gamified loyalty mechanics just by combining like the benefit and programming the access to it. So Nifty Key is just actually just come off of the MasterCard Start Path Accelerator program, and I've got a long history with them. And yeah, I mean I'm off to Singapore next week to sign some big deals for Nifty Key. So there's a lot happening there as well. And so these two plug together to give you this kind of gamified, programmable Web3 commerce.
Well, you're going to have a very busy summer. NFT.NYC is a big part of that. As people get a chance to connect with you and your team at NFT.NYC in Times Square, June 20th to the 23rd, or at any of the other events that you're going to participate in over the summer, what's the best way for them to come, and what experience are you hoping they have when they come to these events, or they come to your booth, or things of that nature? What experience are you creating for the community, and what should their expectation be when they come to check out what you're working on?
Well, we are currently working on some incredible, like, as you would expect, digi-physical experiences and treasure hunts. And sort of, we went through a whole list of what things that are going to, how the booth might look and stuff today. And all of them are completely insane. And so we're going to choose one of those crazy ideas. But really what we're doing is building really deep technology, and then trying to put that in the hands of creatives to just kind of blur and distort the boundaries between the real and the virtual, and just kind of create this sort of mixed, gamified, rewarding reality. So, encourage them to kind of join us, join our community, and come along for the ride, and just add that creativity and use our tools. Obviously, we're launching Boson Protocol V2 in August. So there's a huge number of integrations and early adopter programs that we're running. And yeah, it's just incredible what happens when you put really powerful tools in the hands of creative and slightly crazy people.
Well, I like it. thanks for jumping on with me. For those that watch our conversation, whether it's here on YouTube or as our team shares across Twitter and LinkedIn and places of that nature, thank you for your attention. We both, Justin and I, and the rest of the community look forward to seeing you in New York. Justin, thanks again for jumping in, sharing what you're working on and your insights.